Bombas makes the most comfortable socks, underwear, and T-shirts.
Warning, Bombas are so absurdly comfortable you may throw out all your other clothes.
Sorry, do we legally have to say that?
No, this is just how I talk, and I really love my Bombas.
They do feel that good. And they do good, too. One item purchased equals one item donated.
To feel good and do good, go to bombas.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Wondery and use code WONDERY at checkout.
As you write your life story, you're far from finished. Are you looking to close the book on your job? Maybe turn a page in your career? Be continued at the Georgetown University School of Continuing Studies. Our professional master's degrees and certificates are designed to meet you where you are and take you where you want to go. At Georgetown SCS, the learning never stops, and neither do you. Write your next chapter. Be continued at scs.georgetown.edu/podcast.
This is Fixing Famous People, the podcast where two reality television producers pitch solutions to save celebrities in dire straits.
But first, let's get to the Pre-Fixe, your weekly pop culture roundup.
Dominic, myself, as well as the listeners, are chomping at the bit, as I like to say. I know that's wrong, but we need to hear every single solitary detail about the SNL 50 concert. Where you were sitting next to Meryl Streep, and maybe you've heard of her. Martin Short.
Maybe you've heard of her.
Maybe you've heard of him.
Martin Short. Dan Levy. Maybe you've heard of these people.
Like, you weren't up in the nosebleeds, like in the third mezzanine. You were like on boots on the ground. Like, Haim is 2 rows in front of you. Like,
yeah. I'm not even going to lie. When I say it was one of the best nights of our lives, meaning me and my best friends, I mean that fully. The thing about this SNL concert is because it's SNL, you know that you can just ask literally anyone to perform there and they will say yes. Because why wouldn't you? It's not an award show. Even Jimmy Fallon, of whom I, is recorded history, will tell you not the biggest fan. He did an actual good job of hosting and moving everything along. And right at the beginning, he was like, look at all the celebrities here, and we're not even giving out awards. Only SNL could do something like this.
It's true.
And it is the truth.
Yeah.
And we got tickets through my best friend who has a connect at SNL. I think there was a brief lottery for the concert. And other than that, everything was giveaway tickets from people who knew someone at SNL or blah, blah, blah. So we get a call on Wednesday. He gets a call on Wednesday. Do you and your friends want to go to this concert? Obviously, we're tripping over our clits. And so we get everything together and change all our plans around, and we go Friday. So when we walked into Radio City, it was chock full of, so we walked through the front door and someone turned around and banged and hit my friend's shoulder walking in, turned around and was like, oh shit, I'm so sorry. It was Jason Momoa.
No.
I'm making up nothing.
No.
I'm making up nothing.
Oh my God.
So we were like, what the fuck? And then we walk in and then we see Seth Rogen and Rachel Dratch and we're still in the foyer. And then we see Andy Cohen and we're still in the foyer and we're like, I think we're going to see a lot of celebrities here tonight. So then we go into the main room. It's just all celebrities. It was like a joke. It was a joke that we were there because we were the only people who weren't celebrities or celeb attached in our area. We were in the 15th row, which in the orchestra, which for Radio City is pretty close. We were in between the front stage and one of the side stages where they did a lot of performances. And it was great. We just kept seeing celebrity after celebrity. I mean, Jennifer Lopez and Meghan Markle were not there, in case anyone is wondering why. Because if they were there, we would have led with me in the ICU.
Sure.
And Chris broadcasting from the lobby of St. Vincent's. But they were just everywhere.
I will say, like, I wonder what the celebrities did when they turned to the right and saw you and your 3 friends and were like, who the fuck are those people?
Oh, they all said, who are those trolls with the co-host of Fixing Famous People, the world's greatest pop culture podcast? That's what they said. But I had to leave to go to the bathroom at one point, and I look and there's the Costners and the Spielbergs and the Hankses all seated just next to each other in the same row.
Yeah.
10 rows behind us, I might add. I mean, everyone, literally everyone from like De Niro to Monica Lewinsky was in the audience. Devo was sitting in front of us. David Spade and Julia Stiles were in our row. Bill Burr sat directly behind me. I'm dropping names on purpose, and I'm too weak to pick them all up because that's how many people were there. It really felt like a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it looked like a once in a lifetime thing.
And so unexpected. Like it just came out of nowhere, and we were thrilled to accept the invitation. And I don't want to say the name of the person who got us tickets because I never know when something good happens if it happened illegally. So I will thank this person next week if I'm able to. Well, they'll never know who she was.
What performances, etc. Any like big run-ins other than Jason Momoa, and then we obviously have to get to two people that you videoed leaving the concert.
Well, I mean, Cher, I'll put in a different category, but Cher is always Cher. And if you've made it to my Insta in time, you got to see me screaming so loudly on this video that several Cher fan sites around the globe took the video, and many comments are like, what is wrong with this woman? Why is she screaming so loud? It was a real treat.
Oh, God.
Cher, obviously, but the goosebumpiest moment of the evening for me, other than Cher, was Post Malone performing with Nirvana. Like that really, the room was like, we're watching something really amazing right now. Like it just rocked the whole room from top to bottom. It was a great surprise. I don't think they were even scheduled to perform. They weren't on the rundown, but once they got out there, people started to scream. And I will offer a public apology to a legendary singer by the name of Bonnie Louise Raitt.
I literally had my Britney Spears dancing knives ready for you specifically because
I was I'm not a Bonnie Raitt fan. And sometimes I get, other than Cher, when they sort of trot out an elderly because it's like, oh, let's just do this because we can, because it sometimes turns me off. And my friend Adam, who I was with, my best friend, was so looking forward to it. It's his favorite. I Can't Make You Love Me is one of his favorite songs. So she comes out and starts to sing. I'm ready to get up and use the bathroom. And I had told them for days that I was going to use the bathroom during this moment. And instead I was, honest to God, transfixed. Like she silenced the room. My friend Adam was crying from the moment it started to the moment he ended, because he is, and I don't mind saying this publicly and attaching his name to it, a giant homosexual. And it was a beautiful moment. It was like just 4 minutes of her emoting this song. And we jumped up when we were done. I'd never seen Bonnie Raitt live before, and it was great. And everyone was great. The Backstreet Boys were great. Robin performing with Gabriel Byrne was insane. Lady Gaga singing Dick in a Box. I mean, that alone.
Strange, but yes. Yeah.
That alone is worth it. It was fucking great. It was hilarious and great.
What did Cher sing?
She sang Turn Back Time.
Oh, yeah. No shit. Why did I even ask the question?
she turned it. I mean, there are several memes of celebrities like staring at her in awe.
Truly like in hysterics. Looking like you at Regis and Kelly.
100%. And also including Kevin Louise Costner, who then pops up 2 nights later, seated next to Cher at the SNL special.
And I was like, you like all capitals 911, like emergency.
You did send me an alert.
Like
Kevin Costner
emergency beyond 911. Like I don't even know what you say after 911, but like code black emergency with that.
And here's the thing. I wasn't as focused on Kevin Costner being next to Cher. I was more focused on the wig that Cher chose to wear to the SNL special, because I'm a super fan for many people, but I am not a sycophant. And I don't mind telling you, Cher was serving Bram Stoker's Dracula Sunday night. What on Cher's green earth was happening with that headpiece?
I don't know. She doesn't get it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Madone.
It doesn't matter.
She made her moment. It was very Queen Mother and Aliens. It was very get away from her, you bitch. It was very
Aliens. It is Aliens.
And I'm still talking about it, and I'm still in love with her, so obviously it worked. But
it didn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That's like, did you see Lady Gaga like brought like an entire like hedgerow as a dress on Hot Ones? Did you see that? When she's on Hot Ones and she goes, "Oh, sorry, I only have one hand available to eat this wing," and I'm like, "You're such an asshole." I mean, I love her to death, but
Those two out in the wild together promoting things at the same time is a gift. I mean, I need them to stay outdoors for the next at least 4 years. I need them to be in the A cycle always.
And she's like, truly like, it's like you hear like a bush rustling and she's eating the wing. It's the best thing ever.
So then the only time we got like, well, first of all, I am living with regret. Here we are now 5 days later. And you all can roll your eyes at this about what league I'm in or who I am or who I think I am. I should have gone up to Dan Levy and just said, will you go for coffee with me or a drink? Like, why? He was 10 feet away from me the entire night. He is number one. I know many people think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is. And, of course, Michael B. Jordan. They are all top 5. But
Dan Levy's number one on your list?
Dan Levy's sort of number one because he's the whole...
Dan Levy is Hugh Jackman on your list?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Literally since the moment I watched the first scene of Schitt's Creek, however many years ago, I was like,
okay,
that's like, yeah.
You should have said something. You should have at least been like, you're my number one.
I know, I guess I'm a closet pussy. I don't know. All of this bravado is just a joke. I'm really just a hermit.
You are a Pisces.
It was the first time I am a Pisces.
Yeah.
I'm nodding along with that.
That about you, which is very funny, but I
don't know what you mean when you say that, but I'm nodding along like I do. I'm nodding along like I do.
Anyway. Yeah, you should have. You should get that. I must agree with you.
It was a missed opportunity. Maybe I'll go on Craigslist Missed Connections. Are you the star of Schitt's Creek? Were you seated next to a devilishly handsome, recently well-built, middle-aged Italian woman? So on the way out, I need to go to the if you're not listening to it, I go to the bathroom a lot. No, I'm not on drugs. I am a hydrator, honey. And so I look at my friends. I'm like, I need to pee one more time. The show is over. It was great. So then a trifecta happens as we leave. I'm walking into the restroom, and it's actually, there's a little bit extra of the trifecta. I'm going into the restroom, stopped at the hand sanitation level kiosk. Anya Taylor-Joy. I don't know. It's turning into a Fellini film.
Tell me everything. How tall is she?
She's a Q-tip. That's it. She is as tall and thin and white as an actual Q-tip. That's it. She's a little bit absolutely beautiful, no doubt. But there were so many celebrities there. I was just trying to pee before we went out to drink. And of course, Anya Taylor-Joy's there. I was like, I please step away from me. I can't deal with anything else, any other actors or actresses. I'm still mad about you as Furiosa. We need to have coffee about it, but you got to back away from me. As I'm walking in the men's lounge, who walks out? James Franco. And I say to myself, no. Who? No. And I turn around and I actually walk backwards to see. I don't think that we'd let you out of the house yet. Did we, James Franco? I don't think that you were in the good graces yet.
Not to criticize, but they really like to, if Lauren, I think, is nice to someone, they really let them be wherever they want to be. You know what I mean? Like they really don't. Canceled people are there all the time.
We're going to talk about more of that in just a minute. But like, I was surprised, and I had to then go upstairs and Google. The post informed me that I wasn't imagining things. It was actually James Franco.
Next to me right now is what you Googled. Yeah.
So then we get upstairs, and the only time that we as a group were like very starstruck and didn't do anything about it was we saw Aidy Bryant. And we love...
who doesn't?
Aidy Bryant. I mean, love...
Yes.
Love. Aidy Bryant hosted the Spirit Awards last year, came out and delivered one of the best monologues I've ever seen an award show host deliver, where she gets up there. She's like, I'm really nervous. I've never done this before. So I guess I'll do what other hosts do and I'll start roasting people. Hey, Natalie Portman, there you are. You stupid bitch.
Incredible.
And she just starts picking on various people in the audience. And
stupid bitch is the best.
We wanted to go up to her so bad and say,
hey, Aidy Bryant, you stupid bitch. Yeah.
But she was with her friend. And it's like, you got to feel for it.
You can't.
It's
you
like,
just can't.
Yeah. But everyone was there. And so then my friends and I are having a mild argument about where to go drink afterwards. And we're outside Radio City and we're crossing 6th Avenue. The light is turning and I'm like, I'm going. And I run across the street. The three of them still stay there and argue. And I stop dead in the crosswalk because who's at the other end of the crosswalk waiting for me, placed there by God? Alec and Hilaria Baldwin right in front of my fucking face.
Did you make eye contact with them?
No. So what I did was I then kept walking to the curb because they were clearly waiting for an Uber, and I stood behind them and then whipped out my phone. And I'm going to give this to you to put on the FFP Insta page because it is so obvious. I'm holding up my phone, shooting to them, walking to their car, and he turns around a little bit. And I was so afraid of him like punching a paparazzi that I moved the phone. It's very obvious that he looks, and I think you can even hear me go, "Oh!" Like turn the phone away, like don't hurt me. And then I shoot them again. But it was a great way to end the evening. It was very later. Oh wait, I did text you. Yeah, I texted the chain right away with sirens.
I would have hoped so.
But they were waiting for a car, and then that was it. And then, this SNL 50 special rolls around. What did you think of it? I was thoroughly entertained. I was like,
all right, we'll watch until like we get bored, and then we'll switch over to White Lotus. And when I tell you that I watched every single second,
it was great.
Every frame. I mean, to open it up with, I'm not going to lie, Pretty Genius was Sabrina Carpenter and Paul Simon together singing that song. That I think set the tone for the night of like, you will have Current, and then you will have like On Their Last Leg and like deathbed situation together. No disrespect, but like how old is he? You know what I mean?
He's 80. Yeah, he's got to be 80,
have
right?
Like the two of them together to be like, look, you're getting like white hot brand new talent, and then like living legend together. And that's what the night was, and I loved it.
Yeah, I know people that didn't like that opening number. I thought it was
great.
I raised an eyebrow when we faded up from black, but then when I saw what they were doing, I was like, oh, we're literally going from year 1 to year 50.
Yeah,
and I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved it. One thing that I don't know why this has bothered me so much, but Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively were there. Okay.
Sure.
And then as part of a bit, Ryan Reynolds stands up and he's in real life. Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. So he gets up and he Deadpools his way through a bit and he references what's going on with Blake and Justin Baldoni.
Sure.
And he says, what, have you heard anything? Have you heard anything? Makes a quick joke. Blake appears to be on another planet or is just a horrible actress and doesn't really respond to it. Both. It got a chuckle. We moved away. Well, these responses from other pop culture commentators and the New York Post, everyone saying they shouldn't have gone to this. Ryan making a joke about it was a bad move. All this stuff. And here we're days later now, and people are still talking about like PR wise. I understand that you and I specifically, and everyone who does what we do, we're sort of born hyperbolic, if not designed that way deliberately.
Sure.
And like, you got to go over the top when you're talking about stuff, but they shouldn't have been there. I feel like the opposite is true. And like people are like writing multi-page think pieces about why Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively should not have gone to SNL because it dilutes their entire lawsuit. Let me help all of those people with something.
God, here we go.
Alec Baldwin killed someone 2 years ago. They gave him a script and he stood up there for 2 minutes and spoke.
Yeah.
A quick pan of that audience would reveal no fewer than 2,000 felonies, 1,500 of them unprosecuted. You've got to be fucking kidding me that they shouldn't have been there. I don't know why this has rubbed me in such a wrong way that everyone is like,
I honestly have like I don't even want to do like a part 3 about Blake and Justin, like until we're like in the court, like until like, cause I'm just so like, it's so over talked about everywhere else that I'm like, it like turns me off in a way that I'm like, I don't need to be doing this. And I'm so over, but I don't have any desire to be like talking about who I think is like, who's this and who's that. They've slung so much mud on each other that I'm so over it. That I'm like, oh, it doesn't even matter what the original sin is or who was right in the beginning, because they've both been so ridiculous and pathetic and stupid that I'm just like, oh, it doesn't even matter anymore what's what, because
they don't even know.
They both are just,
they don't even know. They both decided
their careers are ruined from this.
They both decided to do chaos, which I'm not saying I wouldn't do it if I were one of them, but to try to dilute everything, they both attacked with chaos, and now no one knows what it's about. Justin Baldoni's lawyer,
including them,
releases a series like, well, if my wife was sexually harassed, I don't know if I'd be making jokes about it on television. Well, there's the point. Justin Baldoni's lawyer, the sexual harassment that she endured was not was not at a Me Too level. We all know this. Every intelligent person knows that this is two petty bitches having a pissing contest because they didn't get along at work. Let's all think about someone at our office that we would love to do this to publicly. That's what this is.
Well, and it's just like, of course they're going to go. Why wouldn't they go?
Of course. Why wouldn't they go? Why should the woman accusing the man, was she supposed to hide in her apartment until this blows over? That seems a little misogynist to me. No. Do I think she's right? No. Do I think Justin Baldoni is right? No. Do I think they need to stay indoors? No. I'm not shitting on any of our competitors, but one thing I love about fixing famous people,
period,
there's no performative earnestness here, okay? It's just like, oh, she's wrong. She should have stayed. What a bad look. Fuck you. Just talk about something else. Go binge something. That's it. You've talked about the case too much. Go binge something.
Well, not to immediately fall right back into Blake and Justin, but Hassan was telling me that like Martha Stewart or someone was like doing an interview and they were like, who is someone that you like wouldn't want to be at your house, your dinner party or something? Like, I don't remember some question of like, who's a celebrity that you think is annoying? Like cloaked in a much nicer way. And she was like, Ryan Reynolds. She was like, he's not funny. He's very annoying and very rude. And like I have not seen this. This could all be fake. And Hassan lied to me, or Hassan read it somewhere and it's not real. But like, I have heard from my partner that she said something like, he's like not funny at all. And like,
I love this.
He pretends to be funny and he's actually very annoying and everything's about him and blah, blah, like completely rips him to shreds. A la, remember whenever, the food god that was like friends with Kim Kardashian. What is his name?
Oh God, Shebin.
Jonathan Shebin. Whenever she tweeted like, who is this man? Like he says that he's famous, but I don't know him. And like, it was the biggest slam to ever exist. Apparently she said that about him. So
I believe it.
Yeah, me too.
She would say that. And
yeah, she's also like a stone cold bitch. So she was like, yeah, he's fucking annoying. Like
Martha Stewart didn't have a single fuck to give when she was like in her mid 30s. Now that she's 80, I wouldn't even go to a dinner party at her house. She'd probably die. She'd probably kill us there. She'd give a shit.
Yeah, she don't care. No.
And a felon.
Yeah, what? She's like, I've done prison time. Like you
now that she's done hard time.
Yeah, like
you don't know what hard time is until you have to crochet for 9 months. You have no idea.
Minimum security prison.
You don't know what hard time is until you only have 3 shawls to choose from for 7 months.
Oh, God. Anyway.
Okay. White Lotus. Thoughts?
I mean, obviously, the theme song is such a letdown among, like, of epic proportion failure on the theme song.
Blasphemy.
But we were never going to do better than last season. Last season is a banger that I will play, like, at every wedding I'll ever be at for the rest of my life.
I used to terrorize my ex-husband by singing the theme at random times, and I now am wondering, is that the reason we got divorced? Yeah, I loved it. Whenever we'd have arguments, I would break into the White Lotus.
Well, I'm sure that helps. Yeah, that really helps.
My advice, if you want to get divorced, sing season 2's White Lotus theme loudly to your spouse.
Yeah.
You're welcome, America.
All this to say, I mean, again, we were tired. We had just watched 3 hours of SNL. Quickly, we will go back to the sketches. I feel like we need to touch on it for 5 seconds. But it was like midnight when we were watching it, and we were transfixed. Carrie Coon, I am all over her. Leslie Bibb, all over her. The third one of those 3, I'm so into. It's not even like that's going to become a disaster, and I can't wait. Love Natasha Rothwell. That reveal that we got within Natasha Rothwell's story that I won't spoil here yet, like, was in shock. I love Jason Isaacs, like, in everything that he does, like ding dong, wink, wink. So I'm down, even though I think his accent work is pretty bad. I don't care. And I really like him. I mean, Parker Posey needs to be institutionalized, but she's gonna fucking.
Yeah. Some people were complaining that she's too much. Not so. No, and I will tell you.
That's what I assumed would happen. Which is Tar Heels.
Respect
Tar Heels. Tar Heels. It's what we would write for her to do. Do you know what I mean?
I know her.
Yeah.
I know that woman. Yes. I know 80 of those women.
Yes.
I know 80 of those women with Long Island
Dominic,
accents.
we
I grew
are
up
those
with them.
women.
I'm related to them. Well, I wouldn't go that far.
We are those women.
No, the way that she won't stop talking about her kids.
Yes.
When she greeted the staff and the staff can't stand her, I know this woman.
Yes.
I know an army of her.
So great. Are the brothers going to jerk each other off? Is that what we're...
something's gonna happen.
Right? Like, I was
Something will happen.
Son and I were like, what's happening here? Like, we were like...
I wish it was... He's doing a fine job. I wish it wasn't Patrick Schwarzenegger. I really do.
But I'm so annoyed with him. And it's like, that's the whole point. And so it's like, he is doing a good job.
Yeah, because it seems like he might be playing himself or a version of himself. He's playing a version of what lay people like us think Patrick Schwarzenegger is like, for sure. So whether or not he's in on the joke, I just think that that's a role in a franchise and stuff. It's very like, Ryan Murphy, why are you giving that role to Kim Kardashian? Like, this could make someone famous. Put someone else in there. And I feel the same with Mike White. Like, I don't know. Can't Patrick Schwarzenegger be like a red carpet correspondent for E? He's got to get on the most popular show on television.
I know.
Give it to someone else.
Yeah, I know. Well, who knows?
He's not bringing eyes to the show. That's the thing. It's not like, oh, he's in it. It's like, give it to an actor.
But all this to say, I'm ready.
I'm in. I'm in.
So
I'm up to my neck in it already.
We were in already, but like shit's gonna go down.
Yeah,
and I
want to have sex with everyone on the show, even the ugly ones of all genders. It doesn't even matter. Let's get in the pool together.
The girl from Sex Education.
I can't.
Love her. Love her.
Even the awkward general manager, I would give him a hand job. The weird one, yeah, for sure. Why not? He works there.
And that like singer that's like the owner, like obsessed with her.
Oh my God.
She's the best.
She's like the Joan Collins. Yeah. I love.
It's so good.
Thailand's Judi Dench. Who is this?
Yes,
she's a star.
No, I'm obsessed with her. Yeah. And you know shit's about to go down with her. You know, no one's safe. Obviously, from the first 2 minutes, we see that no one is safe.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait. I love the gatekeeper guy and then like that other woman that's like one of the staff and they're like going, I loved seeing like the behind the scenes of them.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, you should be a security guard, you little pussy ass bitch. Do you know what I mean? And he's like, no. And she's like, yeah, because you're a fucking loser. Like, I'll love with that. Like, I'm
it's good.
Other
it's
than
so
the song,
lush.
I have no notes other than the song, which we knew was going to be a letdown.
I was warned too, because I only watched it this morning and I was told I didn't know about the song and I was disappointed immediately. But then once they got into that first scene and everyone was hot, I was like, okay, we're good. As long as everyone's good looking and
even that gatekeeper eventually in the preview has like just a swimsuit on and he's like jacked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Walter Goggins, I think he's so this is going to make him. He's already a famous, not that he's not famous, but like he's going into another category after this because
he was Cosby and he's been doing this a long time. He's my age, actually. He's 53. And this is the thing that's going to catapult him.
He deserves it. I
bet he was the most Googled person of the night. Like he's definitely the guy you look at, you're like, who the fuck is that? Didn't I see him in, and he was in it. Yes. No matter what it was, he was in it. Yeah. He's been doing it that long.
Yeah. I'm into him. Yeah. Carrie Coon, I just think is such a good, she's so underrated. It's not even funny.
And then she became an actress. So then we didn't look alike anymore. I was like, you
fucking cunt. So good. I can't wait for them to the three of them to devour each other.
So the other 5-alarm story we have this week is, of course, we wake up.
6-alarm story.
7. Do I hear 8?
Yeah.
We wake up this morning to the news, or yesterday morning to the news that American Riviera Orchard, the long rumored brand coming from Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Schmuckers,
mainly rumored,
has, after 2 years and just 2 weeks away from its launch and the launch of Meghan's Netflix show, has changed names. It is now not going to be known as the American Riviera Orchard. It's going to be known as Ever, which is apparently a sign-off of Meghan's, which I wasn't aware of.
Dominic, we are never getting the jam. It's official. It's official. We're never getting the jam.
Well, did you watch her video? She said, jam is my jam.
Okay. What a fucking loser. Anyway, continue.
But she kept going on and on. She's like, we were calling it American Riviera because that's the nickname for Santa Barbara. I was like, oh, so probably good that you got away from that. I did not know that it was named after that, but don't tell me your neighborhood's the Riviera. I'm not going to buy products from there. You don't need the money. So She changes it. It's going to be a lifestyle. It's the stuff in my garden. It's the stuff in my kitchen. It's the stuff I've been using during COVID. And I can't wait to show it to all of you. And it's called As Ever. So I feel like if you're going to change the name of a brand you've been trying to promote for 2 years.
It has no products.
And you're going to do that 2 weeks before it's coming out. Maybe you should have just renamed the company As If, because who the fuck is going to buy anything from this? Who needs
No one.
kitchen stuff from the princess of goddamn anything? Who needs that?
What's his name from Netflix? Like, what the fuck is this name of it? Because now apparently it's like a partnership with Netflix. Yeah. He was like, what is this dumbass name that you have? Call it something else.
And that's where she lost me too. Yeah. That's where she lost me, was when she is so...
She's like so fingering herself over the fact that she has a partnership with Netflix, which tells me, which by the way, in my mind, the red alarm, the 911 alarms are going off of, oh, you don't know how to be a business person. So you had to partner with Netflix, which PS is smart because her overhead is already so big, as we've learned from inside sources. Her overhead is so large that it's like, oh, you can just be the white labeler of all these things. That's what she should have done. She should have pulled a Bethany and done this from the beginning, but she didn't. And now she finally is doing it with Netflix because she can't bring a thing to market. She can't. She's not a business person. Not. I'm sorry to say.
No, but her acting with surprise that Netflix is going into business with her, she's like, who would have thought that? It's like, you did. You married a prince. Like, you can do whatever you want.
And I did.
What are you thinking about?
Yeah.
Like, that's why you're doing it. Why are you acting surprised? I hate.
Yeah, she's very coquettish.
She's trying so hard
annoying.
To be relatable. Yes. Always. That's her tragic flaw. It's like, don't do it. You know what? Suits LA is coming out in 2 weeks too. Get on that. What are you doing?
Just do it.
Why does everyone have to do? This is like a larger issue, which I'd like to speak about with you.
You're really
sometime.
You have some thorn in your side.
My horns are out. My claws are out.
Claws are out.
My horns are also out.
I can't speak. Anyway, continue.
Why does everyone have to do everything?
No.
Why can't you?
Correct.
Why can't you, if you have free time, watch Squid Game? Why do you have to you're a princess, you have 2 children, you have a house to run, and all these products you're using. Why don't you just do that? Honey, that's the actual American dream. You don't have to worry about shit. You don't have to waste your time doing all this stuff. Even, just give me 30 seconds because I got to get this off my chest. Beyonce Louise Carter Knowles. Tickets go on sale. Some of them are $4,000. We're used to this from her. We understand. I don't know what it takes to put all that together. I'm sure you need everyone to spend $4,000.
She's a greedy bitch, just like the rest of us. Yeah, sure.
But you know what, lady? The same week you launch a perfume, honestly, forgive me. Beyonce, fuck you. Honest to God, man.
No,
what?
It's bad.
Are you
it's
out
really
of
bad.
your fucking mind? People are literally
not paying
spending their government checks on your tickets. And you're like, well, I want you to smell like this when you come. Bitch! Why do you have to do everything? Can you just be an actress and a musician? You don't have to do lifestyle and perfume. Why does everyone have to do absolutely everything?
This is the other part that's so funny is it's like they always are doing it in the most saturated markets in existence.
Always.
Perfume? Are you fucking kidding me?
Always.
Like perfume, hair care. I'm looking at Beyonce. I'm looking at Blake Lively. I'm looking at everyone.
Even J-Lo with the makeup. You want to know who doesn't have a line of coffee mugs? Meryl Streep. Do you want to know whose makeup you're not going to be able to replicate at Dwayne Reed? Judi Dench. These are people who are beyond reproach, who don't get mocked, who have the respect of their peers on both sides of the aisle, except maybe for President Trump with Meryl Streep. Like, why do you have to do absolutely everything? Leave something for someone else to do.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
No, they can't.
That's it.
They can't.
Hobson, take my soapbox back and polish it. I'm done. In other good news this week, Lady Gaga has released the track list for her album. She'll be hosting SNL the day after it comes out. Chris DeRosa went to Instagram yesterday and said his body is ready for it. Let us know, what does it take for your body to get ready for a Gaga release?
Honestly, not much. I'm just ready. I'm like some of the track names. Zombie Boy. What's a song like that about? You know,
Isn't there one called I Love Drug?
I think so, or something like that.
Yeah.
Or it's called like Drug Lover or Lover Drug or something. I didn't really. She's a freak, but listen, it's gonna be a fucking banger.
No, she's here. This feels like
Here we go.
another major era for her. Like it feels like the beginning of, I got 3 movies out of my system. Now let me get back to what I do best.
And Abracadabra, like now that we've sat with it for like 2 weeks, it's a fucking like a banger. So we're good. We're good to go.
Well, I don't mind telling you that I've been working on a secret project the past week and a half or so.
Okay.
Where I have been looking at the TikTok videos that will teach a human being the abracadabra dance.
Stop.
I
know it.
Almost have it down.
Okay.
And I am hopefully, if I feel confident enough in my bathing suit, will be doing a rendition of the abracadabra dance on Instagram on the beach in Puerto Rico this weekend is what I'm going to do.
Oh my God, Dominick.
Speaking of Puerto Rico, I want to say this. I have not been on an aeroplane in about 6 weeks or so. And in the past 6 weeks, every 72 hours or so, there's some sort of show happening with an airplane. It's crashing, it's skidding. Now motherfuckers are turning upside down when they land.
Did you see the video of the guy getting out of it? And like,
Yes.
it's like straight out of Lost. Like
They were hanging upside down.
I'm like, what is this, Yellow
bats.
Jackets? Yeah. Like
No, they were all hanging inside like bats.
it's
I
so
can't,
bad.
I'm afraid to go to the airport now.
You should be. I'm not going to lie to you. You should be.
What on earth is happening?
I don't know. Well, yeah. Like imagine.
Is this the end?
A plane flipped. At least they lived.
It flipped over. You ever see that movie Flight with Denzel Washington? Oscar nominated. It's a great movie, harrowing. There's like a really intense plane crash sequence, but everyone lives, I think, except for 2 people. He has to turn the plane upside down and land it that way. And the whole time you're watching it, you're like, oh, movies are so far-fetched. And then this shit happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Canada. You're not doing yourself any favors, Canada, if you don't want to get purchased. Your stock just went down. You know what I mean? Now they're going to come after you.
Speaking of being purchased, Dominick, I want everyone on Tuesday of next week, the 25th of February, to go to your Instagram and wish you a happy birthday.
Oh, Christopher, thank you. You know, I almost forgot. Sometimes you get so old, you really do just forget about it.
Forget about your birthday.
Mm-hmm. I'd like to. Thank you for that. You know what I want? Well, I already got what I wanted for my birthday, which is Madonna announced that she's going to be doing a sequel to Confessions on the Dance Floor.
This is
and
big.
Just
this
someone
is big
as old as I who twirled and twirled to that on the dance floor when it came out, that is all I need. That was it. What a lovely surprise this
I know.
week.
When is it? She's just like, I'm going to do this. Like, this isn't like done.
Yeah, probably 2032, but she's in the studio now, though. She is in the studio now. So.
Okay, that's good. But yeah. Yeah, but
Hopefully,
2032.
Mm-hmm. We do have to leave soon, but I mean, I think the most important thing to know this week is that Cynthia Erivo will be playing Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar at the Hollywood Bowl this summer.
Really 5 minutes before we got on. And I was like, am I having a stroke? What's happening? But then when you really think about it,
it's genius.
It's perfect.
It's absolute genius. And the people who you knew when you hired her that would freak out, they've already melted down and some have died. Like they're screaming so loud about how blasphemous it is. You know, I'm not a religious person, but I will be honest. I haven't conversed with Jesus recently, but I'm going to guess Jesus does not give a flying fig who portrays him in a musical.
Also,
you're all God's children, baby.
Jesus Christ Superstar is like the least religious like musical ever.
From start to finish. Yeah, from start to finish.
Yeah.
Andrew Lloyd Webber is not the Pope. Yeah, this is not.
She's going to she's going to crush it.
She's going to crush it. Remember people were screaming when John Legend played him when they did it on NBC a couple of years ago?
Never forget. Where did that go? We did so many live musical things and then they just went away.
I don't know. I think they stopped paying off. I'm trying to remember because they started out like strong. Remember they did Sound of Music like and everything.
Peter Pan, Sound of Music.
Peter Pan was good. And then something happened with The Wiz. I feel like The Wiz just wasn't very good. They tried to make a bigger deal out of it.
They did a Rent one, didn't they?
Oh God, that Rent one, remember?
Annie.
And the guy like broke his leg or something the day of the show.
Anyway.
So that might have been what happened to it. If you stay tuned for the a la carte today, it's pretty scandal filled. Tom Cruise is dating Ana de Armas.
No.
Kevin Spacey apparently went after Guy Pearce decades ago, and he's just talking about it now.
Goodbye.
And Kevin Spacey's response is pure.
I don't know anything about it. I don't want to.
Oh my God. Guy Pearce said some shit about Kevin Spacey going after him. Kevin Spacey waited 30 seconds before releasing a statement and said, "Grow up, Guy Pearce."
Oh my God.
That's a direct quote.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
It's even deeper.
I'm not going to
that.
look until I'm going to let you tell me on the air.
And the Borat divorce, Sacha Baron Cohen, is apparently getting a little bit nasty. Apparently,
Borat.
Isla Fisher gave an interview and Borat is pissed.
Uh-oh.
And so when it leaked that he was pissed, everyone's going to Twitter and just going, "My wife." Like, it's like obvious.
Of course, duh.
It's fantastic.
And not for nothing, he's done a lot of, he's done some fucked up shit.
According to Rebel Wilson and many others, yes, he has.
I have my eye on him.
And we won't talk about Diddy on the a la carte, but it's important for you to know that he is, because he has time on his hands, suing NBC for the documentary they aired on Peacock.
Oh,
about
brother.
him. But the good news
But
is
not the
that,
one on Max. He didn't.
I guess not. I guess that one
Warner,
didn't fact check.
What is it called? Time Warner? What is the Warner Media? That's,
That lawsuit that the woman filed in the fall against Jay-Z and Diddy, that
dropped.
Very quietly went away last week.
Probably well, that's why Beyonce's releasing a perfume, by the way.
Because she needs to pay the settlement with it?
Yeah. Don't act like I don't have that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
And some casting news we'll discuss in the a la carte as well. A new Dumbledore for the Harry Potter television series. And what hot television show is Sharon Stone joining?
Oh, brother.
Come to the a la carte. Because it's a show that's already crazy that Sharon Stone's going to make fucking crazier.
Yeah.
Come to the a la carte.
Quick programming note. Some people in the Patreon have been like, do I need to sign up for Apple subscriptions? Do I need to do this? You don't. If you are on at least the $5 tier on Patreon, you get every single thing that's in the Apple subscription. It's just, the Apple subscription is just a $5 tier that's in another area for people that don't know what Patreon is or have no desire to do Patreon. And when you sign up for the Patreon, if you sign up on your desktop and not within the Apple app, again, desktop, not the app, you will save money. Apple charges more money now if you buy something through the App Store. And so Patreon is going to charge you more money if you're buying it in the app. So do this at patreon.com, not on the Patreon app, and you will save money.
Because Apple doesn't have enough money.
I know, right? Yeah.
That happens as well if you are a creator in business, as we are, and you boost reels on Instagram to beat the algorithm and get more eyes on your content. If you do that on your phone on the Instagram app, because if you have an iPhone, it's like 30% more expensive than if you do it on a desktop.
Because it's through the Apple app, because it's through the App Store. So if you want to save money, use your desktop or go in the browser on your phone and go to patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople.
Also today on the a la carte, we'll be giving you our first impressions of the new Octomom movie that will be debuting on Lifetime. You heard me. If you love Natalia Grace, you'll want to have sex with Octomom. Trust me. Octomom's our new Gypsy Rose.
Yeah,
she's definitely, she's in that true story.
She's back. She's back,
level.
baby. She's back. Oh, God.
Poor Rachel Dolezal's like, I don't know what to do, but I have got to get back on the front page.
She's chomping at the bit, if anyone is. Okay.
All right. Today we are fixing your favorite and ours, Raven-Symoné. Or is it Symoné?
We'll discuss.
We will discuss.
With Sequoia Holmes.
Ooh, major.
And may I just say that we did not at the time know that she was going to then be launched into this Call Her Daddy universe that she's in right now. So congratulations, Sequoia.
Should we be taking credit for it? Was it her appearance on this podcast that did that?
That hasn't aired yet? Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I meant the other time she was on.
Yeah. Probably that. No, not any of her own work. Yeah. God.
We'll see you in a minute.
Looking for the ultimate night out? Experience the action from a luxury suite at Capital One Arena. Watch Ovechkin chase history as the Capitals hit the ice, or catch the Wizards take on the NBA's best. Rock out with Disturbed, vibe with Mary J. Blige, or dance the night away with Kylie Minogue. Premium seating, VIP service, and unforgettable moments all under one roof. Book your suite now at CapitalOneArena.com/premier. Capital One Arena. Watch in style, live in the moment.
There's one thing that will forever change the way you sleep, and it's the softest 100% organic cotton bedding from Boll & Branch. You'll fall asleep faster wrapped in the most luxurious comfort. You'll never sleep hot again with airy blankets, cloud-like duvets, and breathable sheets. You'll experience pure comfort on night one and feel your bedding get softer with every wash. Discover the difference with 15% off your first order at bollandbranch.com with code WONDERY15. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Okay, she's here wearing a Cheetah Girls shirt. She's primed and ready. It is the return of none other than Black People Love Paramore's Sequoia Holmes. Please welcome her back to the show.
I'm so excited to do this. You all don't even know what Raven.
Well, I think I do know
Really?
because the reason that this is happening is because you dressed up as her on Halloween and did a video on your Instagram that was literally, truly, clitorally like what would happen on the Disney Channel show That's So Raven when she would get like a future premonition and you the camera went into your eye. It was incredible.
Thank you so much.
I was just screaming and I was like, you must come fix her. And you were like, absolutely.
Is this still on your page or did it disappear with your story? Okay.
It's still on my page. It's in the video section, not on the grid.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you.
It was incredible. I mean, first and foremost, you are killing it. I have been just watching from afar via Instagram and like rooting you on every step of the way. And I'm so proud of you. And like,
thank you.
Truly, you've been killing it. And it's been so great. She had a billboard in Times Square, people. Maybe you've heard of this place with her picture and podcast on it. Maybe you've heard of that happening.
I did.
Yes. And it's a crime that we have not had you back earlier than now. But
no, we couldn't figure out the next person. I think we have been chatting and then it was like, oh, it's Raven. It's Raven.
No, it's
absolutely.
Raven.
Yes.
It's Raven. And she needs it.
The other crime is that our faces haven't been in Times Square, but now we're just gonna say we know Sequoia Holmes, so it's gonna happen.
That counts.
Basically.
That's the biggest crime to me. We're talking
can
about
we
crime.
put our faces up there? We know Sequoia.
We know her. I work at a Chili's. Like they're
gonna be like, we don't know her. We don't know who you're talking about.
Can we pick where we put it? I want our faces to be above Sbarro in Times Square specifically.
Tasteful. That's absolutely tasteful.
Oh, brother. All right.
Well, here we are. We are fixing Raven-Symoné today, and we are at that point in the broadcast where we play the middle name game, where we ask Christopher and our guest to guess the middle name of the person we're fixing. Now, because you are wearing a Cheetah Girls t-shirt, Sequoia, I am obliged to ask you if you already know Raven's middle name.
You know what's so funny? I don't think I do, but something tells me when you say it, I'll be like, oh yeah, I was aware of that at some point.
Christopher, do you know Raven's middle name?
I don't, but isn't Raven-Symoné her first name?
Chris, walk with me for a moment. Thank you for opening that door. Let's go through it. This young lady has 5 names.
Oh, brother.
2 first, 2 last, and 1 middle.
Okay.
Her first name is Raven-Symoné, which does have the accent aigu on it, which leads me to believe someone at some point called her Symoné, Raven-Symoné. So I don't know the history of that.
As the Beyonce of Disney Channel, she has to have the accent mark. She's the Beyonce.
And
of
is
Disney
that I've never heard people say that. Like when she was on The View, I never heard her introduced that way, Symoné.
Yeah, at all. I don't know. I don't know what that.
I think that like one day she was like, no, it is Raven-Symoné. And like, that's actually my first name. Like people have no idea that I have a last name. But like, I also, like whatever, I'm a celebrity, so it doesn't really matter. Like,
so Raven-Symoné is her first name. Her last name, her biological last name is Pearman, which now has a hyphen with Madé, which is her married name. So it's Raven-Symoné hyphen, middle name, and then Pearman Madé, also hyphen. 5 names, 2 hyphens, 1 question mark. What is Raven-Symoné Pearman Madé's middle
This is the
name.
hardest one ever.
Does it start
Let me
with a
give you
G?
some background. Born Atlanta, Georgia, December 10th, 1985. So she is 39 years old. Chris, what's her sign? Is that Sag, December 10th?
No,
What's that for
that's-
Scorpio?
That's sad.
Capricorn?
Yeah, it's Sag.
That's sad.
Sag, okay. Raven-Symoné, Paramore. What is the missing name?
Okay, I want to guess Lisa, but it's gonna be Melanie.
So your two guesses are
My
Lisa
guess
and
is Melanie, but then what it's really gonna be is Lisa.
I think it starts with a G. Is it Giselle? That's Beyonce.
Beautiful guess.
I would have guessed that too.
Beautiful guess.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I don't know.
I tried to go like really like just plain because
Simple.
like Raven-Symoné, like blah 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 is like so much. So I'm like, it's
Right.
just a simple one. But there's no reason that it should be a simple one. Dominic, is it Lisa?
Well,
I'm gonna.
You were the only thing that any of you were right about is that it is plain. It might even be plainer than Lisa. It is with the old-fashioned normal spelling, Christina.
Oh,
Raven-Symoné, Christina Paramore. Christina, Christina.
No K.
None of this. None of this.
No.
Krystee. None of that bullshit. This is
Right.
regular Christina.
Christina does not fit at all. in
It
that
doesn't.
name.
Any of these names. Christina's not the name you want in between two
Simone and
hyphens.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right?
Raven-Symoné, Christina,
It's like
Paramore. It
Vicky
doesn't even
Cristina
matter.
Barcelona. It's like
Oh, yeah.
But
it's-
actually,
that's-
you should remove the Raven-Symoné, Paramore actually rhymes. So I wonder if she should just surgically remove Christina altogether.
surgically, yes, with a scalpel. hmm
So Raven, cut her teeth on the Cosby Show, and which I don't even think I knew this, but she was on Hanging with Mr. Cooper
I
as
did.
well.
I didn't know.
And then when she was 15, she landed the titular role. I like that she landed the role. I mean, it was her name. But that's So Raven. She's So Raven, and she was Raven Baxter from 2003 to 2007.
dancing.
This is where I cut my
Okay.
teeth. Okay.
No,
Not-
okay.
Obviously, I had seen her on the Cosby Show before, but this is where I really was like, excuse me, that's the love of my life. Whoever that lady is on the screen right here, the
Goodbye.
love of my
Goodbye.
entire life. Okay.
Yeah.
I will follow her
Wow.
to the grave and back. You cannot pry her from my cold, dead hands. Okay.
Is that So Raven before Cheetah Girls?
It is, yeah. It's before
Yeah,
Cheetah Girls.
okay,
I think
okay.
it premiered before Cheetah Girls, but they came out the same year. I think That's So Raven came out 2003, and the Cheetah Girls also came out 2003. But Cheetah
Got
Girls
it.
was like late in the year, and That's So Raven premiered earlier, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, copy
You
that.
are absolutely not mistaken.
Period.
You are Wikipedia today. I'm
Period.
staring at this page. It is 2003.
So stupid.
Cheetah Girls 2
No,
was in
listen, you're a
2006.
fan. You're a
Absolutely.
fan.
No,
Yeah.
I'm so serious. The Cheetah Girls changed my life. That's So Raven
Yeah.
changed my
Mhm.
life. It's so serious.
So That's So Raven. She's like, it's her Hannah Montana before Hannah Montana even existed. Of like,
Yeah.
this is my show. It's named after me. And the thing is that she's just a normal high school girl, but she happens to be clairvoyant and like she gets like flashes of what's going to happen. Right.
Right.
Yep. She can gaze into the future.
Yeah. A la very much every other show that's on like Nickelodeon and that like Sabrina the Teenage Witch, a lot like the Wild Thornberries,
So good.
etc.
Ugh, so good. Oh
These
my
shows where
God.
it's like just a girl with powers. You know what I mean? Like
my head is spinning. So good.
What did you love so much about That's So Raven?
Okay. It was so black. Like That's So
Yeah.
Raven was so black in a time where that wasn't all of Disney Channel. This is a time
Sure.
of Lizzie McGuire, even Stevens, and it's kind of the golden era of Disney Channel. Proud Family was also on at this time, which is also a very black show. But That's So Raven, they really let those characters, Eddie and Raven, exist as black teenagers in the most genuine, joy-filled way possible. I saw myself so deeply in
Yeah.
Raven's character. I was like, wow, she's a leader. She's fun. She's beautiful. And she is unambiguously and unapologetically black. It was incredible to me. It was so formative because I did not have that most other places.
Yeah. Yeah. Every other show that I named that was like it was a white girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I
Like,
did,
right?
and I watched all those too, and they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
formative
yeah.
as well, but
Yeah.
not
no,
like.
but this is like real. Yeah, that is true. And the show's extremely successful, right? Like it goes on for like a long time. It's like she had it for like isn't it back on? Isn't she like That's So Raven again?
That's what I was gonna say. So like it was on for so long. We have Raven's Home, the reboot, and honestly, as an adult, if you go back and watch That's So Raven, it holds up. It is so funny. Good. The physical comedy of those kids needs to be studied. They are so fucking funny. And Raven's Home also, watching it now as not the target demographic at all, it's so funny. Truly.
Really?
And this ran for, I mean, it's not on any longer, but it ran for like 5 or 6 years, Raven's Home. I'd never seen an episode of it. I'd seen That's So Raven, but I don't even think I knew until today that there was a sequel.
I think there was some drama around its ending. There was some drama with Chelsea, her best friend, I believe.
Yeah, I think, I don't know what it is either, but it was like something went down.
Yeah, there's some drama. Chelsea's been, or Lisa Vanderpool, Elise Vanderpool, I think that's the actress's name, has been very vocal on TikTok about the ending. And it's been interesting. She's been vocal, but also not vocal. Like she has been hinting at something being wrong, but not saying what is wrong.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh. Well, saving that for the book.
So
or the podcast. Yeah.
Yeah. In between That's So Raven and Raven's Home, we have a lot of shenanigan that goes down. So Cheetah Girls happens. Obviously, Cheetah Girls is like a humongous success. Right. With her, Adrian, who is like then at that time engaged to Rob Kardashian.
Whoa. Oh, God.
Remember that?
They were engaged. Yeah. Yes.
Engaged.
Oh my
like gonna be a Kardashian, was on like Kim and Khloe Take New York. Kim and Courtney Take New York, one of them.
So fun. Yeah, she was on the show.
Because she was like, I live here, like, let's be friends still. Mm-hmm. And they were like, sure. And then the other two, I don't remember who, they're not as famous, but.
Oh, it's Keely Williams and Sabrina Bryan.
Sure.
That's her name. Mm-hmm.
But they were like the Disney Channel version of like the Spice Girls, basically, kind of, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the Spice Girls, Destiny's Child, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely.
And they were like, had tours and like had albums. And I remember even at like Limited 2, like when my sister would go to Limited 2, like they would have like, Sequoia, we're the same age. That's why.
So did Raven tour? Did Raven tour with them?
Yes.
On these tours?
She didn't. No, she might have gone on maybe the first or maybe, and that's a hard maybe, but no, she didn't generally tour with them.
Because
and that was the point of contention.
They did 3 movies, right? And she was not in the third one. And I'm reading now that she wasn't in the third one because of catfights and territorial issues. She was filming some other stuff at the time, which I think publicly they said, oh, she's filming College Road Trip, so she can't do the third movie. But since then, she said, it's because I felt excluded and ostracized on the set of the second film.
Yep.
Well, she was also too, like, think about it. She's like a 3-year-old on like a humongous TV show. There's no way she's like a normal person, right?
No, she's not. She's not a normal person. In fact, she has talked about this since. She said she like has dissociated so much of her childhood. She can't remember most of it, including being on That's So Raven and
for people
Cosby
like
Show.
her.
For people like her who have been in the industry for so long, they don't remember it. She's not normal at all.
Yeah, that does make much more sense when she later will say, "I'm not African."
Oh my God! I mean? Yes.
I didn't want to be rude while Sequoia was talking about saying
like how black
black over and over again. I was about to say, does she think so? Like Raven might now be apologetically black.
Oh my God! I remember when this happened. I remember this felt like I've had a number of celebrities that I like ride hard for, and all of them have disappointed me, I must say. Raven was probably one of the earlier ones to disappoint me. And she has since, just recently, she addressed this, right? She had never addressed this, but just recently, within the last year, she addressed it. She said what she was saying. And if you go back and watch the clip, I'm like, okay, I see how you arrived there.
No, sure.
And can I back up a little further just so we're clear about, because this was an Oprah interview where she said this, or was it on The View?
It was on Oprah. It was not on The View. It was on Oprah.
It was on Oprah.
When you hear her, it's like, I see what you're going for. However, like at the time that she was doing it, it was just not. She says, I want to be labeled a human who loves humans. I'm tired of being labeled. I'm an American. I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
Right.
Yes.
And then she said, in response to her answer at the time, Winfrey said, oh, girl, don't set Twitter on fire. Which I remember her saying that.
She did,
I remember that too. Yeah. She tried to give her out. Oprah was really like, you want to clean that up right now? Please, you have the opportunity right at this second. But recently,
but Oprah did leave that in the final product. Let's
she
point that
did.
out as well.
She did. She said, I tried to give you double down. She was like, you said, yeah, no, I said what I meant. And she's like, okay, babe, well, I don't know. I don't know what you meant, but if you know what you meant, that's all that means. Like, I guess that's what it means. But she responds to it recently within the last year or so. And she's like, what I was saying was that Black Americans built this country more or less. And so we are Americans. Like the caveats and all of that is unnecessary when you're referencing the people that built the country. We are Americans.
This is othering me, and I'm not othered. I am,
and I am not other. Yes. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad you said that. I wish you would have said that almost immediately.
That should be how you explained it when Oprah said, "Can you please explain this?" Yeah,
I'm having to give caveats every time I say I'm a Raven-Symoné stan at this point.
I'm like,
you're right. No, I don't agree with everything that she said. No, I don't agree with everything.
Yeah. It's
you
hard.
It's hard. That up for me.
Yeah. Chris, does it say what year? What are you reading from? Does it say what year?
It was a 2014 interview that she did it.
Okay, so when did Instagram come into our lives? Couldn't she have just done a quick story and been like, this is obviously because it was sort of obvious what she meant. But, there's part of the fucking internet that just, they know what you meant and they'll just try to accuse you of doing something else.
100%. Instagram came into our lives in 2011 or around 2012-ish.
But it wasn't like stories was not out yet.
Yeah, stories was not a thing yet.
No.
Or it's just such an easy way to release a quick statement. I'm just surprised that it took her so long to do it.
Well, this was also when she was coming out of the closet, right? Mm-hmm. She was also coming out, a lot was happening and she kind of looked perception wise. I remember this time of her being a mess. She was this after she was on The View or during her being on The View, maybe?
Not positive. I'm not positive on that.
Okay, so that Oprah interview with her little misstep was in 2014. She was on The View from 2015 to 2016.
Oh, so she says this and they're like, can you please come on The View?
They're like, hey.
They're like, we should totally give you a platform every day to say things like this.
Come here.
That's really astute, man, because really they probably looked at her like, oh, here's someone that will get headlines for eating their shoe on a moment's notice.
Absolutely.
Yes. Would you like to host the most maligned talk show in daytime?
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that was her audition tape, was that Oprah interview. And they were like, we don't even need to, just come, show up, and we'll be, here you go. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she continued to say controversial stuff on The View. It was sort of her thing, having the unpopular opinion, et cetera, et cetera. I personally did not feel like I didn't get the vibe that she was welcomed warmly on that show by the other hosts. I didn't because I remember I did the warm up there for a year. I watched the show still pretty regularly, and you could tell who everyone was in favor of having on the show and who they weren't. She was a weren't for sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know. I could never put my finger on why that they were so
I can
disenchanted by it.
Oh yeah, Chris, tell us.
Chris has the definitive answer.
I feel like that was the time where they were like, all right, let's kind of go younger and have these younger people. And they were kind of trying to have Whoopi and Joy bring in these new people. And then Whoopi and Joy were like, no, because there are replacements. Basically, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was when it was the revolving door of so many different people.
Mm-hmm.
That were exponentially younger than Whoopi.
Not to base it entirely on race, but who would they have brought on to replace Joy? Natasha Lyonne? Who would it have? I'm trying to think of the youngest New York accent person I can think of. James Gandolfini? I mean, who would it have been?
Natasha would be fun. I'm not going to hold you.
No, she would
be fun. Very fun.
She's also too famous. She's also too famous.
Way too
famous.
Way too relevant right at this second to be on that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other New York broad they would have on. There really isn't. It's a dying breed.
And I remember this about Raven too. Raven, I feel knew on The View, because that's hard. I mean, it's hard to be on a podcast with one other person, not this one. But what I mean is hosting is harder than people think. Yeah. Sharing airtime is much harder than people think. You got to get the rhythm down of the people you're talking to, so you're not always interrupting each other. And I felt every time she tried to sneak in there, she is a producer. I mean, she is a born talent. So she knows when she's going to open her mouth, if she's sharing the stage with 5 other people, she's got to say something impactful every time. And I felt like they weren't giving her the opportunity to shine like that on the show. Yeah. I think she was really being earnest about trying to add to the fabric of the show, and they weren't having it.
Absolutely. 100%.
And when you're in that position, you end up fucking up because it makes you pretty insecure to open your mouth ever. And you have to keep opening your mouth. And so she just started fucking up. She just started not being herself.
Well, and she's like, oh, I need to have everyone just pump the brakes so I need to say something ridiculous so that everyone is like, it grinds to a halt and then I have a minute to talk.
I have the floor.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I think was like part of her just like being like crazy on there. But also too, it's like you're on a Housewives reunion every day. That's what the View is. So it's like
it is.
You know what I mean? They get in a fight about nothing every single day.
100%,
So it's like,
that's
kind of what you're supposed to do is like come in guns blazing with like ridiculous opinions of something.
Yeah.
Not right? Like, am I wrong?
They won't tell you that, but that is what it is. That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, it's all about, they were looking for viral moments before we even knew what that phrase meant. That was the whole, that's why they split that screen between Rosie and Elizabeth when they had that huge fight because, and that's Rosie will never forgive the control room and Bill Getty for doing that. Like once she saw on the monitor that their argument was on a split screen, like they were on Springer, she was like, my job's done here. Like I can't come back here.
Right.
I don't know that they went that severe with Raven, but she was good. I wish she'd stayed. I bet she would have found her footing if she'd stayed like a third season.
Well, wasn't she also was going to be, she was on Broadway. It was like the Sister Act musical. Am I wrong?
That sounds right.
Oh, yes.
That sounds right.
Yes.
I remember like way back when it was like, I was here. I lived in New York. It wasn't that long ago, but there was a Sister Act musical and she was starring in it and she was like the big opening star. Much like
she was in the lead. She was the lead. Yeah. She had Whoopi Goldberg's role. Funnily enough, or amusingly enough, that was several years before she was on The View.
Really?
It was in 2012. And she didn't get to The View until 3 years later.
So that would have been like
that's where she met Whoopi.
Had to be because Whoopi had to. Because Whoopi had to EP that production. So you would think that she would have ushered her in there.
Right.
And that would have been post Cheetah Girls, right?
Oh,
definitely. Yeah. Way post. Yeah.
Because when's the Cheetah Girls? That's like early 2000s.
The last movie was 2008.
The second one was 2006. She wasn't in the last one in 2008. So she was wrapped.
2006. Oh, yeah. I was like a kid. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not feeling like Whoopi protected her very much on that show.
No.
I'm not going to go back and watch, but it didn't.
But does Whoopi protect anyone?
No. In fact,
she's just there in her like bed sheet, whatever bed sheet she's going to wear. I love her outfits that it's just like, she's like giving Andre Leon Talley rolled out of bed. Do you know what I mean?
Wow,
she does not give a fuck.
That was a really good comparison.
Yeah.
Honestly. Do y'all remember when Raven on The View pretty much is like telling Whoopi like, oh, you're queer. And Whoopi's like,
no, I'm not.
Whoopi's like, no, I'm not. And Raven's like, yeah, you are, girl. And Whoopi's like, no, I'm not.
Oh, I don't think I remember this.
And Raven's like, okay.
And Raven's like, okay, if you say so, Grandma.
Like,
yeah.
She's literally like, sure, Grams. Like, sure. It was a really aggressively awkward moment on The View. I remember that. And I'm wondering if that's what made Whoopi be like, I'm not protecting you. Like, you piss me off.
Huh.
And like, we all know that she is. I know that she says that she's not, but like, we all know that she is. But like, you just don't say it. Like, we just don't talk about it. Much like Queen Latifah. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
you just don't put your.
We all know that she's
Raven.
gay, but we're just like, no. Like, what?
You saying the quiet thing out loud, Raven? If she never said it, why would you say it?
Yeah.
Is she not talking? Does Queen Latifah not talk about it still? I thought we got over that hump with her.
Like,
no?
maybe once, but like, I don't think she's like at a Pride Parade tomorrow. You know what I mean? Which, like, whatever.
Yeah.
What is she afraid about damaging the Equalizer brand at this point? I mean, what could it be?
Dominick, please. The older girls, they have some different baggage. They're like,
sure.
oh, I don't know.
True.
It was not okay or something.
Do whatever you want. Like, that's not for us. And it's definitely not for Raven to call her out on national television.
On live television. What?
But you know what? Her doing that, that's so Raven, isn't it? Isn't it really?
So Raven.
She's like, I got a premonition that you're a lesbian.
Quite literally is what she said will be on live television. Absolutely.
In the past, present, and future. Karen Johnson. That sort of shit, though, is why they would have Raven on the show. And then she does it and just gets in the bad graces.
Yep.
P.S. The excuse given for her leaving, which she had to EP and star in Raven's Home, the reboot that we were talking about earlier. I think it was fairly mutual because I'm pretty sure Raven could have done both shows at the same time and taken time off. But I feel like they just had it with her.
Well, and also, like, if your star, if this person that the show is named after, like, can't do it at a certain time, like you just move this production schedule.
You move
Do
the
you know what I mean? It's like
production.
you do
Yes.
it. Like you figure it out. Like, yeah. But also too, those reboots they like came and gone. We talk about it all the time. It's like we still are rebooting these old shows. It's like we do this and we figured out that like they last for like 4 years and then they're over.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Very much for the most part.
So, I mean, I don't know what kind of fix this is. Do we want more for her or do we think she's fallen off? Like, I don't know what I think now that I'm like kind of turning towards, like what do I fix her with? Like, I don't know what is her crux problem, do we think it is? Because what I don't like is that she's like, I don't remember my childhood at all. That's bad.
I know. That's
like,
really
that's
bad.
rough. That makes me like very like sympathetic towards her.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Raven has the same problem that I have in that she cannot shut the fuck up even when she knows that it's going to be poorly received. You know, she's like, yeah, but it's on my heart and I'm going to say it. And that's precisely.
And you're like, yeah.
I'm exactly like that. And so I don't know that she needs a podcast as someone who also has a podcast with the same problem.
No.
I don't know that she needs a podcast. I do sometimes tune into the podcast and I see her wife kind of give context to her thoughts, you know, like she'll like say a thought and her wife will provide context to what she just said. I'm like, good. That's exactly what you needed. So
you're like, when you said that you wanted to kill this person with a bus, so I think what you meant was,
girl, right. What you intended to say was they really hurt you in some way and you would like for them to stop doing that. And she's like, yes. And I would like for them to die. And her wife's like, okay, so
that's a good wife. That's someone who should be with her at all times. Really.
Right? It's our bodyguard damn near. I'm like, yes, because she needs a mental bodyguard.
Yeah. No, but like really though, like, and the proof is that she's like, I don't remember That's So Raven.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Which is like horrifying to think about. Very scary stuff. What does she do on her podcast? Is she up to stuff?
She like has guests on sometimes, but it's primarily her and her wife talking. I think they might always have guests now. I'm not sure, but she just recently had a guest. Did y'all ever watch the show Love on the Spectrum?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
My favorite fucking show.
It's so good.
She had one of the girls from that show and it was just so profound and lovely and beautiful.
Okay.
It was so good. So she's doing stuff like that.
Okay. Raven wasn't like, why do you think that way? Like, you know, right? Like, Raven.
I mean, she was talking to her in a very humanized way. Like she was not handling her with kitty gloves or like anything like that, which I found very refreshing. I don't know how it was received, but I personally found it very refreshing. She could answer for herself very well. Like it was a normal conversation, you know?
Yeah.
I gotta say, as far as child stars go,
it could have been, oh no.
I mean, it could have gone so much worse because this story of like being famous when you're 3 and not just being famous, but like
on the
being
biggest
show
on
the
television.
number one show on television, it could have gone a billion different ways. So she's sort of like a success story when it comes to child stars. To be honest with you, all kids from the Cosby Show kind of turned out pretty fucking good.
They are pretty solid. The only Disney girl of Raven's era that I feel like might be a little bit more healthy is Hilary Duff. The rest of the girls, you know, that got to like a certain stature, should I say, you know, the big ones.
Oh, yeah. No, they're on like a scale from disaster to catastrophe. I mean, we can name 10 of them right now.
Right,
like
on the top of our heads.
Of their lives. Yeah.
I do think something that I would do to fix her, I just had a thought about what I think could fix her a little bit more. Oh my God, what was it? Oh my God, no,
should we hold this? Should we hold this?
Oh yeah, yes.
Was she in that like child star documentary that was happening?
No.
This current one?
The newest one.
It's listed on her page. Yeah, it's listed. She's listed as appearing in it.
What?
Yeah.
And which one? Not the Nickelodeon one.
No,
not quite on set.
Okay. No, the one with like Demi Lovato.
Wait, I have not.
I need to watch it.
Yes, she is in it.
Oh.
Demi, Christina Ricci, Raven, Allison Stoner, Drew Barrymore, JoJo Siwa, and Keenan Thompson.
I need to watch
it.
Wait,
what is it on? I need to watch
it. It's
that.
a Hulu documentary that was released in September. I did not see it. I heard about it. I think, did we talk about it in a Pre-Fixe maybe?
We did. We definitely talked about it. I mean, this is Demi Lovato's like 17th version of this, and this one actually like is real. No.
Right? And
like,
love
I watched all of them, and I'm like,
I've seen them all.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, this is like her finally admitting something. And she every time she's like,
this is going to be the one where I drop this bombshell. And then it's for thrice, it was just an album release, like documentary.
Like,
also, when you've come back from death 3 times, don't drop anything.
Who am
Not even
I?
your pants. Just be happy you're here and keep moving forward.
Right.
Okay, I have my pitch if we're ready.
I am at the arena. I am ready as well.
Ready.
We got to come up with a sound. Why? How has it been 2 years and we have not done some
Like
audio
boing,
cue
like, yeah.
when we are at the arena? We're going to start next week. We'll start it.
Okay.
Life can change in an instant. My brother-in-law died suddenly, leaving behind my sister and her 2 young kids. He didn't have life insurance, so now they're facing the unthinkable, leaving their home. After seeing what they went through, I immediately called SelectQuote to get life insurance for my family. In 15 minutes, a licensed insurance agent compared policies from highly rated carriers to find me the right coverage in my budget. I got a $500,000 policy for only $16 a month. Plus, I qualified for same-day life insurance. No medical exam was required, and I was covered by the time I hung up. Even if you have a health concern, SelectQuote agents can find you the right policy at the lowest price. And while you can't prepare emotionally for a loss, SelectQuote can give you peace of mind with life insurance. Don't wait until it's too late.
Go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote.com. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
The Sleep Number Smart Bed is the best bed for couples, and there's a good reason for that. Only Sleep Number Smart Beds let you choose your ideal comfort and support on your side of the bed. Firmer or softer on either side. Sleep Number does that. Perhaps you want your side cooler, and your partner wants their side warmer. Sleep Number does that too. You choose what's right for you, making it the best bed for the both of you. The Sleep Number Smart Bed will even automatically respond and adjust to your movements to help you sleep comfortably all night long. Your smart bed will even learn how you sleep and provide you personalized insights to help you sleep even better. Why choose a Sleep Number Smart Bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now, save 40% on the new special edition Smart Bed. Ends Monday. Shop a Sleep Number store near you. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
Raven-Symoné, Christina, what is her last name?
Paramore-Madej.
Paramore-Madej. This is what I want to happen. It is horrifying that she doesn't remember like her childhood at all because she disassociated from it because of being a child star.
Mm-hmm.
I think this documentary is like dipping one toe into that world. And I want to know, like, she could be the champion of like children's rights on sets. We like we're getting there with the like quiet on set thing with Dan Schneider, but like nothing happened from that. Like, do we have legislation? No. Do we have any of these things? No. And people kind of think that she's like a bonkers human, like myself included. Like, I just think of her as like a very strange human being that's like weird and crazy. I want them to do a reality show where it's like, remember like Sober House of Dr. Drew, but like a very better version of that, where these people are like, go to like an inpatient rehab that's not just a dramatic reality show, but like they do group therapy and stuff. Like what Sober House of Dr. Drew was, but better, and not Dr. Drew. And like, we have nobody, not celebrity therapists, but real therapists. Like, you know, when Erica Jane tries to trot out her therapist like on Beverly Hills all the time now, and it's that fucking woman that did Sober House of Dr. Drew. And I'm like, this woman is a charlatan. Like,
she's also not your therapist.
Yes.
Right.
Like, this woman wants to be on TV again. And so she like will disagree with anything that you say. What the fuck is this? I want like actual licensed professionals that are really good at their jobs coming in. And we have all these child stars being there. And Raven is kind of the leader of them. And they all do this like therapy. And I think what we get of this is like all of them start like writing their memoirs based on this. And so reality show, sober house situation where they're getting real therapy. And then that leads to all of them like releasing memoirs about their experiences as child stars. So I think that is what we need to cure all of this, and to cure that she's like, here's why I'm crazy is because of XYZ thing that happened to me on the Cosby Show set. That is what I think I want from her, because it strips away the like, she's just cuckoo bananas. And it's like, oh, here's why she said this thing about whatever in that Oprah interview. Here's why she's being crazy on her podcast and having her wife is having to like drill, like, you know, kind of like reel her back in. That gives me so much more empathy for her, rather than like, here's a celebrity who's always been a celebrity who's going to be crazy because she's going to be crazy. And that's my pitch.
Good pitch. I like that. That was so good. Yeah.
One of my favorite things about doing this podcast is that we talk about people who we don't talk about on a daily basis. And that's part of why they're here, because we want them to be more famous, or how do we fix them? And I like that we get to do this career retrospective of all these people, because you realize that people that you think were away for a long time weren't. They were just out of your bubble and not like mainstream famous in every arena, but just with their group of core fans.
Mm-hmm.
She's done a lot of stuff. 2 shows with her name in the title, debuting as a toddler on the most popular show on television, appearing in this transformative, for people your age, movie series in the aughts.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I mean, have not seen the Cheetah Girls.
No,
Heard
sure.
about it.
No, but it was
them on many shows. Met, I think, all of them. Never watched the show.
No, but
the movies.
But huge.
The View, which is like, it's like a part of Americana, whether we like it or not. I mean, there have been some like, she's done big stuff, and she is still, I do apologies, because I won't. She doesn't remember that. So Raven, I don't remember any of my pitches from the 102 episodes that we've done. So if I've done this pitch before, my apologies. But a dramatization of this life of hers, I think, would be a really worthwhile limited series, because there's so many aspects to it. There's so many stories involved with it. She's like the Forrest Gump of the past 39 years. It's like she's hit so many milestones in entertainment history she's been a part of. I mean, the Cosby Show is a behemoth. That's So Raven, its own behemoth. That whole Nickelodeon era was its own behemoth. She was right in the middle of it. Cheetah Girls was a monster. The View is, and always will be a beast. And she's had enough fuck ups to do cliffhangers at the end of at least a 4 episode
Oprah interview.
And what I think would be great, as along with a dramatization, which I don't know why I even feel the need to say this, I am assuming would be directed by Debbie Allen, because Raven and Debbie are friends, and this is what Debbie does. Debbie could also fill in a lot of the blanks that Raven didn't remember. Whether it's her podcast or a companion series, depending on the streaming service, you sort of have like the talk back with Raven, who would even say, most of episode 2 was told to me by people who were there, because I just simply don't remember it. I was just too young to remember any of it. You could have a lot of fun stunt casting this too. I mean, you could have Lisa Bonet playing Felicia Rashad. You know, like we could do a whole bunch of shit in there.
We could do a whole bunch of shit.
But this is a life, you know, it feels like a life that should be documented, because this life that she has is sort of the aspiration of every kid that wants to be an actor. I mean, she works her ass off. I've never gotten the impression that this was like a dilettante at all. Like she like shows up and works no matter what. I mean, which is rare when someone's like a star when they're 3. Yeah. You'd think that as they get older, they get a little bit lazy and they know the business or whatever.
Or they fall off.
She's not that.
Like they fall off. You know what I mean? Like,
so hers is sort of like a positive blueprint. You know, I mean, normally you don't see a child star story without them ending up dead or on drugs or something, but she's got enough valleys in there that it's sort of, I'm compelled reading her Wikipedia page is all I'm going to say. Like, and I would love to know like some of the backstory. So maybe not the most inventive pitch, but I think that anyone seeing this drawn out over 4 episodes would be as surprised as I am, as I'm like, oh, she's been like on top many times through the past 40 years.
And her like at different ages. Like every episode is a different actress playing her like at a different age.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dominick, and that's my pitch.
I like that a lot.
I like that one a lot too. Yeah. So mine is kind of a blend.
So you're going to give a pitch, yeah?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
Can I pitch? Is that a thing?
You can. Back in the day, whenever you first were on this,
I pick which one. Yes.
Or you might have a pitch that blows us completely away, and then we just forfeit and give you the win.
And you'll know, because one of us will sit back and roll our eyes.
Yeah, you'll know immediately.
It's never happened where the guest has won, where Chris and I have been in disagreement. We don't even text each other. We're just like, you've won.
Okay. Now, I'm not sure if my pitch is also that inventive. Again, I am a stan, right? So this is like, we're just going to get into it.
Yeah, give it.
I want Raven-Symoné to get EMDR therapy EMDR therapy, different than talk therapy, is the therapy that incorporates lights and tapping in order to move trauma through your body. She has so much childhood trauma and cannot connect with her memories from childhood that something more than talking has to happen. She has to get EMDR therapy, not behavioral therapy, not talk therapy, EMDR. Okay. We start there. Secondly, she gets an apology from the fucking mouse. That fucking mouse needs to stand up and apologize to my girl right now. They called her fat the entire time she was on That's So Raven. They called her fat the entire time she was on the Cheetah Girls. They had her wearing muumuus while the rest of the girls had on these cute little cheetah outfits. How do you think that feels for a 15-year-old? Fucking horrible. They're not going to play with my girl like that. Apologize, mouse, right now, today. Next, she's going to move her body. Interpretive dance is what she's going to do, okay? Because it's hard for her to articulate exactly, you know, in a way that doesn't require context from her wife. She's going to interpretive dance, and we are going to understand exactly what the fuck she means through those interpretive dance moves. Absolutely. After that, she is going to have a bespoke podcast with none other than Lauren Kiana Palmer. You might know her as Kiki Palmer. They are going to have a podcast together where Kiki is so well-adjusted, way more than the rest of the child stars. Some may argue that's because she's not quite as famous as the rest of the child stars.
Also correct.
People say that about the Nickelodeon stars in general, that they are overall more well-adjusted because they're not as famous as the Disney stars. Sure, doesn't matter why. If you listen to Kiki's podcast, she is so consistently healed and correct with her takes. I need Kiki and Raven to have a bespoke podcast together where Kiki kind of live interprets and therapizes Raven in a way that helps Raven move through her trauma. So we have a bunch of ways for her to move through her trauma, right? She has EMDR therapy. She has interpretive dance. Now she has a podcast with Kiki Palmer. And last but not least, what Dominick said, we're going to give her a documentary. So we're going to explain her life, humanize her a little bit. And that will be the tenets of a fixed Raven-Symoné Christina Paramore.
Yes.
Period. My only hang up on this is that Disney is absolutely never going to apologize to her.
That fucking mouse is
my only hang up with it was, I think asking, so obviously this can't air on any Disney properties, which is becoming more difficult with each passing day.
Yeah, truly.
I think asking for the apology is something that should just be a part of whatever pitch wins. Like, it should just be like, this is episode 4. We've got no apology from Disney yet. Like, whether or not they do it is almost immaterial. You should ask for it.
Absolutely.
I only got lost. My only place where I deferred was on interpretive.
We have to give my girl an outlet. We have to give her the outlet.
Okay, here's the thing, Sequoia. I think that you are more worried about her as a person, which is good. Like, that's what we should be because you're a good person. But Dominick and I are monsters, and we only care about her public image.
I'm like, so Sequoia just wants to see Raven dance. This is getting a little personal now.
I do, okay? And this is so funny. Me coming on last time.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt by saying he should do a burlesque number. Yeah, like, no.
I'll say, meanwhile, I cussed out Adam Levine, clean cussed him out. This time, I'm like, yeah, she just needs some dance. And she just needs, she's
going to be fine, guys. Just a kickball change.
You just had an immediate flashback to the last episode you were on. I had forgotten that's who you were here for.
Oh, God. Okay. I must say, I don't think it blows me away just because the Disney part of it is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's beautiful and we're leaving it in. Like, we're leaving it in, but I have to say no.
It's truly like that is.
It's what she should actually do.
Yeah, sure. I don't mean this, like, that is a pitch from a stan. Like, truly, like, that is like if I were pitching Cher, if I were fixing Cher, I'd be like, first of all, she needs to move into my second bedroom. Yeah. And then I need to try on all of her outfits, which she will send in advance. Okay. But I get it.
Absolutely. Okay. So if I had to choose between the two of you's pitches, because clearly mine was too clinical and too, legitimate, and that's totally fine.
Too helpful.
Right, honestly. A little bit too helpful, and that's totally fine. Raven, call me if you really want some help. I'm here for you. Okay.
If she calls you,
I would die. You guys would never fucking hear from me again. I would die.
No, we have to hear from you for 5 minutes so you can come back on the podcast and let us know. And then
be like block.
Literally me being like, that's exactly what it's going to be. And that's it. I feel like I like tenets of both of yours. And I feel like I absolutely want to see her life in a 4-part. Okay. So that would be super helpful for me.
I do too.
Obviously, I too want to send her to therapy.
Yeah, we're really hitting you on different levels.
We are.
You know, it's hard. This is too hard.
You can. I mean, we don't want to cop out, but if you wanted to take aspects and make your own, we've done a tie before when people take different prongs and want to do it.
I'm going to call it a tie. I'm going to call it a tie. Yeah, I think it's giving tie.
I think that is valid, mainly because Dominick, your 4-part thing where like different actors play her at different times of her life in different roles is like so fucking. Why have they not done that for like more actors' stories?
Hello. What's the holdup?
Like it's like a Crown, but it's not a whole season. Do you know what I mean?
I'm available right now.
You'd be in it. What just popped into my head is that, and this also feels so Raven, is that episode 5 would be like a future Raven, and she can be played by Oprah, obviously. Like we will do 70-year-old Raven.
Or
why not?
Hey,
either Oprah or Felicia. Or maybe Lisa Bonet would play her at 55 or however old. Who knows?
Okay, that was a no.
Sequoia, absolute no with Lisa Bonet. Why do you not like Lisa Bonet?
No, I do like Lisa. I'm just like, Lisa is way too...
I mean, none of the people that I've listed, by the way, could actually, like, it wouldn't be believable of any of them. Like, none of them.
What are you saying, that Oprah is unlike Oprah? You think that Raven is unlike Oprah?
I'm not seeing Oprah as
exactly like Oprah. So I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
Oprah couldn't play old lady Raven, is what I'm saying. I don't believe Raven grows into Oprah.
A tie works for me.
Yeah,
I think it is. Especially Sequoia is such a fan that it's just like, yeah.
Fix my girl. Just fix my girl. Just fix my girl.
No, she's like kind of okay though. That's the thing. Is like it wasn't like here's this like horror. I thought the like she's off the rails in every single way was going to be where we landed, but she kind of isn't. And even if she is off the rails, she has like a man, like her wife is like reeling her in, which is like very needed.
Absolutely, scalping her every episode.
Yeah,
hey, girl.
Oh God, Sequoia, please tell everyone where they can find you. Tell us about Black People of Paramore. Tell me everything.
Heck yeah. You can find me across social media platforms at BPLP Pod. You can also listen to my podcast anywhere you get podcasts, including YouTube these days. Black People Love Paramore is a podcast not about the band Paramore. It's about the common and uncommon interests of Black people in order to help the community feel a bit more seen. We talk about everything from anime to Tony Hawk to Ariana Grande. Because I'm a Mocha Grande. One of the most important things to know about me.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you want to connect with me personally, you can find me at Sequoia B. Holmes across all social media platforms as well.
Or if you want to see her, just go to Times Square and look up.
Yeah, truly. Wait, you loved Wicked? Loved it. She did
loved
great,
right? Loved Wicked deeply. I'm so excited to see Blonde go, though. Time for the brunette to come back on art.
Yeah. Will she? Yeah. Will it happen? I don't think.
I pray.
Dominick, where can people find you?
The website's domentary.com, or you can find me on Insta at Dominick Pupa, or on TikTok at Domentary, or just go to the Fixing Famous People Insta page. Chris, where can the denizens of the World Wide Web find you on that property?
You can find me at the Chris DeRosa. You can find the show at Fixing Famous People, and you can find the Patreon at patreon.com/fixingfamouspeople. You can also sign up for our $5 tier and get a la carte episodes on Apple by hitting the subscribe button. I wish you both well, and as always, where's Shelley? Goodbye.